my Championship Game Week 5 predictions. Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I'm going to be doing my Championship Game Week 5 predictions. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's one game that has been postponed, and that's Coventry versus Huddersfield Town, which is pretty sad that we'll talk about the stadium in tomorrow's video. But yeah, one game postponed. But should we start off with the first game? No guests today. Starting off with the first game, Norwich City versus Millwall. Norwich City are, a strong side. They should be a strong side, but at the start of the season, 4 games, 4 points, coming in 17th. They don't look fantastic. They look alright. They look decent, but they're nothing special so far. And with Millwall 5th, looking strong with 7 points out of a possible 12. Millwall definitely looking good. They're looking strong. Playoff contention, that's for sure. I think Millwall can get playoffs this season. Their last game was a 2-2 draw over Swansea. 2 late goals, 2 own goals for Swansea. Cost Swansea the game, but with Norwich it was a 2-1 win over Huddersfield. A huge win. I think Norwich have definitely not been their best team. They have definitely not been the best, and they've not been as good as I thought they should be. But with Millwall, I think they're a stronger side. I'm going to go 2-1 Millwall. I just think the form currently Millwall are, better in form-wise. Just better in most things so far. 2 wins, a draw and a loss for Millwall. And with Norwich, 2 losses, a draw and a win. So yeah, 2-1 Millwall for me. I think they'll get the results done. Moving on to Stoke City versus Sunderland. An interesting game. Sunderland, they look good. They do look good. Currently, they sit 11th, which is very good for Sunderland even. And for Stoke, it's 18th, but 4 points, not awful. With Sunderland, it's 5 points, 2 draws, win and a loss. With Stoke, 2 losses, a win and a draw. So, not too different. 1 point separates these two sides. Stoke City's last game, they drew 2-2 to Middlesbrough, a very good result against a very decent Middlesbrough side. They definitely have not been as good as they were last season, Middlesbrough, but still, they're not a bad side. And Sunderland only losing 2-1 to Sheffield United, so it's not like a really bad result for Sunderland, but it's going to be a tough game for both. I'm going to sit on the fence 1-1. I think it'll be a close game, but definitely a game to watch out for. Stoke, yeah, so 1-1 for me. Moving on to QPR versus Rotherham. QPR definitely not has been as good as we all thought they would be. Currently sitting 16th with 4 points. It's not looking great for QPR, but Rotherham with 5 points, not looking bad. Also with a game in hand, so if they win that game in hand, which is against us, they could have moved to like 2nd or 3rd. So definitely Rotherham are looking like a good side. QPR in the ropes, they are definitely not looking as good as everyone thought they would be. Still carried on for last season. Really, QPR did not look good last season. I'm gonna go based on form 2-1 Rotherham. I think Rotherham are a strong side. They're definitely looking as good as I thought they. I don't think they'll be that good. I think I predicted them last. But yeah, it is only early on in the season. But Rotherham and 2-1 over QPR. Moving on to Burnley versus Blackpool. Burnley don't look awful. Currently sit 12th mid-table, 5 points out of possible 12, so not awful. A win and 2 draws and a loss. But Blackpool on the other hand, 6th, 9th even, with 2 wins, 2 losses, 6 points, looking solid. Currently, just in that top 10 stretch. So, Blackpool looking decent, but Burnley, the last result with Burnley was a 1-1 over Hull, which isn't awful. With Blackpool being a 1-0 over QPR, so that's a good result for Blackpool. Burnley, at home, they are good at Turf Moor, Burnley, so Blackpool definitely need to be wary of that. I'm going to go Burnley 1, Blackpool 0. I think Burnley will scrape a win. It will not be pretty by any stretch of the imagination, but Blackpool will do it. Burnley will do it. I think Burnley will have just enough in the tank, enough quality up front to get the result done. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Moving on to Birmingham versus Wigan. And Birmingham having a season, it's a good start to the season. Currently 13th with 5 points. Not awful. Wigan, being 19th with three points out of 3 games. So averaging a point a game. Wigan 3 draws. They're unbeaten, I can say. Birmingham having a win and 2 draws, so not awful from Birmingham. They always have a decent start to the season, but it's what happens towards the end of the season that really ruins Birmingham. It's going to be close between Birmingham and Wigan. 2-1 Birmingham. I think Birmingham will narrowly scrape a win over Wigan. It's a tough game, Wigan. Birmingham can't take it for granted. That's 3 points, 3 games for Wigan at a point a game, and they have got a point a game. They've drawn all 3. So can that carry on? For me, no. I said 2-1 Birmingham. I think I just have enough, but yeah, definitely an interesting game. And then Coventry Huddersfield has been postponed, sadly. But yeah, should we move on to Sheffield United versus Blackburn? One of the best games of the week, can't lie. Blackburn first, Sheffield United 4th. It's first v 4th. It's 9 points and 7 points. Sheffield United have been looking strong with 1 loss, 2 wins and a draw with 1 loss. Blackburn 3 wins on the 3 wins, which was very nice. They literally though did just lose 3-0 to Reading, which is not very nice to have that confidence destruction over Reading. 3-0 away is away, but still 3-0. With Sheffield United getting a 2-1 over Sunderland, so Sheffield United high on confidence. Blackburn confidence destroyed by a 3-0 loss to Reading, who do not look brilliant. I'm going to go 2-1 Sheffield United again. I'm going to go for another 2-1 for Sheffield United. And Blackburn, another loss, 2 losses in a row for me. I think the Reading one you should be worried about, but I don't think the Sheffield United one you should be worried about all too much. I think Sheffield United are going for second, maybe even first, but they're definitely going to automatics. I think they'll probably get playoffs at least, but it's in between automatics and playoffs for me. But Sheffield United, a strong side, going in for another 2-1 win over Blackburn. Moving on to Preston versus Watford. Watford don't look all too bad. They're third currently, 8 points out of 12. Looking strong. With Preston on the other hand, 7th. So Preston, 1 win and 3 draws. They're unbeaten, have not lost, so they're technically doing better than Blackburn. But Preston unbeaten, Watford unbeaten, both teams unbeaten. Preston 1 win, 3 draws, Watford 2 wins, 2 draws. So both teams looking alright, I guess. Watford, their last game was a 1-1 draw over Birmingham, which is not a bad result considering Birmingham had a good start. With Preston a 0-0 draw over Rotherham, not bad. Again, Rotherham looking decent. I think Watford, just based on their Premier League experience, that quality over Preston, I think will shine. I'm going to go Preston 0, Watford 2. A big away win for Watford. With me, Blackburn dropping points. You know, they could try and climb into first for Watford. But yeah, 2-0 Watford, they're their strong side. Moving on to Reading versus Middlesbrough. Two teams right down there in the table. Actually, Reading, no, I read Reading wrong. They're actually 8th. Middlesbrough are doing woeful. Coventry are last because we've only played 2 games. We have 3 games in hand, maybe even a points deduction, so we don't look good. But Middlesbrough 20th right now with 3 points. Yeah, that's 3 draws for Middlesbrough. They've been the draw specialist so far, and the 2-2 specialist. They drew 1-1 with West Brom, and then they lost 3-2 to QPR, and then drew to Sheffield United 2-2, drew to Stoke 2-2. Now they're playing Reading, who had just beaten Blackburn 3-0, with also 2 wins this season, which isn't awful. They beat Cardiff 2-1, and then they beat Rotherham. They lost to Rotherham 4-0, and then beat Blackburn 3-0. Oh no, they lost to Blackpool, then beat Cardiff, then lost to Rotherham, then beat Blackburn. So technically, in a way, it could be a win for Middlesbrough, but I'm going to go for another 2-2 draw. Actually, 2-1 Middlesbrough. I'm going to go 2-1 Middlesbrough. I think Middlesbrough will get their first win of the season. Boost their confidence going into the next game. Moving on to Swansea versus Luton. Luton have been a bit poor this season, so have Swansea. Swansea are 14th. Luton are 23rd. Luton are looking pretty poor, and it probably would have been last if it wasn't for Coventry City and their whole pitch thing, sadly. But yeah, Luton are 23rd right now, looking absolutely woeful. With 2 points, 2 draws, 2 losses. They're winless in 4. But Swansea, alright, 1 win, 2 draws, and a loss. So they're currently mid-table, 14th, not looking bad. But yeah, Luton, they're looking shocking. I think Swansea at home as well. 1-0 Swansea. I think Swansea just have enough. Who've Luton? If they have played tough teams, Luton, fair enough. But I don't think they really have. Let's see. So they drew to Birmingham 0-0, drew to Burnley 1-1, lost to Preston, then lost to Bristol. So an alright, yeah, it's not bad, but 1-0 Swansea for me. Moving on to West Brom Hull, 2 teams on the other side of the table, and it's Hull who's on the good side of the table. They're second, with West Brom 22nd. So 20 places separate these 2 sides. Yeah. Hull looking very good. 8 points out of possible 12. Second in the table right now. They've beaten Norwich 2-1. They drew to Preston. They beat Bristol. Bristol drew to Preston, beat Norwich, and drew to Burnley. So they're unbeaten in 4. They have not lost, but they drew. With West Brom not looking fantastic, that's for sure. 1-1, 1-1, 2-1 against over Blackburn, so they lost 2-1 over Blackburn, I meant to say. And 0-0 with Cardiff. So yeah, West Brom find themselves 22nd with 3 points. Not looking good for West Brom, that's for sure. That's 3 draws as well. Yeah, 3 draws, 1 loss. Winless in 4. I'm going to go 1-1 again. I think West Brom will get another draw. And yeah, it's going to be interesting though. Moving on to the last game. Bristol City versus Cardiff City. Yeah, Bristol don't look all too bad. Currently sitting 15th, but Cardiff 6th. Cardiff currently sit in the playoffs. Looking very good with 2 wins and a draw and a loss, with Bristol 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. So not like bad results for Bristol. Cardiff, this is going to be an interesting game for Cardiff. I think they can try and pull out a result away. 1-0 Cardiff for me. I think they'll get the result. But yeah, that wraps up the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And we'll be talking about the consistency crisis in tomorrow's video. But hopefully that can get sorted. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.